Coaches poll, the Oklahoma Sooners were left out for the first time in 25 years. Is it time to panic? Coming up on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So with football less than a month away, we've got the first USA Today coaches poll came out on Monday. And Jay, the Oklahoma Sooners were outside of the coaches poll, but they were the top vote getter. I don't mind this. I don't hate it. I think Oklahoma is getting a lot of respect nationally. Places like Joel Klatt on 3, like different power rankings have Oklahoma inside their top 25, but the coaches are taking a wait and see approach and telling Oklahoma to prove it. And that's where they need to be honest. You come off of a 6-7 season with all of the questions facing this team, and you don't need to be a top 25 team. You don't deserve to be a top 25 team. You have to go and show that you're a top 25 team.
Yeah. First time in 25 years, the coaches did not show Oklahoma any love.
No love.
I'm not that concerned about it. Like, everybody thinks that the coaches poll is a borderline joke anyway. It's usually handed to an intern or something like that is what everybody believes. I don't know. I don't know if the coaches actually sit there and say, I think this team is better than that team and this team is better than that team based upon all the film that I've watched on the teams that I'm probably not going to play. I don't know when it comes to that component of it, but I don't really see or care much about this coaches poll. I'm ready to see what the AP preseason poll really is going to look like. And that, to me, is the one that matters the most, which that should continue the streak for.
Why is that? Why do people care more about the AP than the coaches?
Because the AP is the one that determines the champion at the end of the year. That's the one that that everyone leverages when it comes to the playoff winning over a ranked team or not. That's the one that's used for all the metrics.
When did we give the AP that much power?
They've always had this much power. They've had this power from the day one. It's always been about who, from the quote unquote eye test, believes who's better than who. So, the coaches
gave themselves the power.
I mean, you could probably say that, but the reason the coaches poll isn't taken seriously because we know that the coaches aren't the ones doing it. So, like, why would I believe a poll from a coach that we, for the most part, no, ain't watching film on teams that they ain't playing?
I mean, it's all perception because the media is not watching all 134 teams, 136 teams.
No, they're probably doing a better.
They are standings watching. They might be looking at some box scores. That is it.
I think they're looking more at rankings of the recruits is probably the thing that I think most of them use in regards to how the rosters are constructed. And then, of course, there's some coaching that gets a little bit of a bump here or there. Of course, there's multiple metrics or whatnot. I mean, think about us, the way that we would look at a team in comparison. Like, I'm looking at a team based upon the players that they have on the roster and the way that I know a coach has, led them into success or potentially lead them into success. Some coaches get the benefit of the doubt more than others. We all know that. Like, Brent Venables is getting zero benefit of the doubt, even though his defense has improved dramatically year over year, which is kind of why you hire a guy like him. He just hasn't had the best luck with offensive coordinators for the most part. Last season, because Levy was fine. Levy did some things. He wasn't perfect, but he was fine. He got himself a head coaching job in the SEC. So obviously you were doing well with Jeff Levy. Heck, some people would say they would have been nice to have Jeff Levy last season. Whatevs. But the point is now that you've got another offensive coordinator who's young, innovative, you're hoping that he shows out, and becomes that dude that you're expecting. But yeah, it's the coaches. They have an intern. Like I said, they have an intern doing it. That's what we know. We at least know the media members are doing it because they'll stand on it and they'll defend some of their terrible picks.
Maybe I'm naive. I just think that the coaches should get a little bit more credit than maybe what we're giving them, just because, again, they're in the game. Whether it's an intern that's doing it or the head coach that's doing it themselves, they're in the game. And so many times people look at media members and are like, what, the coaches are going to question what media members know about all this. It's the same questions we have for the college football playoff committee, right? At the end of the year, what do a bunch of, administrators know about college football? Like, anyway, who's underrated in that? Do you think, like, outside of Oklahoma, is there a team that wasn't ranked that you felt like should have been ranked?
I'm gonna be honest. When I looked at this poll, I'm just like, okay. I do think I think Michigan's actually a lot higher than I would have expected with what they've got going on. Alabama at 8, shocker. That was very much a shocking thing to me.
People love Alabama right now. Like,
they love their roster, man.
Loving Alabama.
Love that roster, man. They brought in so many players. They've done so much. People are in love with the potential that Alabama has. I'm really surprised that they weren't top 5.
So,
Kalen
DeBoer is great, though. So
yeah, I like Kalen DeBoer.
I could buy some Kalen DeBoer stock.
Yeah, I
like Kalen DeBoer. Who's overrated?
Ooh, overrated? I don't know if Miami's 10th, but, people are sold on Carson Beck. Some of you are.
Carson Beck's an interesting dude. Like, I don't know if he's got it. You know what I mean? Good player, has the potential to put up some numbers, but there's just something not quite right. Like, he doesn't give me the right vibes to believe that he's capable of taking a team to a national title.
I can see that.
I look at, maybe a team like Oregon. Oregon is a good program, but they lost a lot. And in particular, they lost their starting quarterback that I think was the catalyst for their success last year in Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I agree. We got a lot of questions about Oregon. We got a lot of questions about Oregon. Same thing with Ole Miss.
Tennessee at 18? But hey, you know what? Be ranked. Stay ranked all year long, and then when Oklahoma beats you, that's perfect. I don't think Tennessee will stay ranked all year long. But Oklahoma will play 7 teams that are currently in the coach's top 25, and it'll start week 2 with Michigan. So Oklahoma gets an opportunity early on to at least prove to the coaches poll that they belong with that week 2 matchup. Anything else really stand out to you in that?
Florida, number 17. They also play 7 teams that are in this top. You also get number 1 versus number 2 to start the season, which is going to be very interesting to see. I think this is the first time in college football history the number 1 and number 2 teams played in the first week of the season.
And I'm not going to hate on Texas being number 1. That's where all the hype's at. It's coming off of back-to-back semifinal playoff appearances. You got the hypiest quarterback in the nation in Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian. A lot of people really respect what he's done out there. I probably would have flipped it if I was going to rank them, and you're ranking based on what have you done for me lately? Well, Ohio State's your national champion. I might put them 1. Georgia at 4 is kind of surprising to me. Like, if any team gets the benefit of the doubt, for me, it's Georgia. Kirby Smart has had 1 season in which they haven't won 10 or more games, and that was his first year. And I'm not talking about the COVID year. The COVID year, they didn't win 10 games, but they also only played 9 games that year because they played their conference schedule plus 1. Mm-hmm. And so they might have played 10. I can't remember exactly, but his first year, he didn't win 10 games, but he's won 10 games every single year since then, aside from the COVID year. So Kirby Smart, he's the guy that gets the benefit of the doubt with me, even though they might be turning over a lot, even though Gunnar Stockton looks like the Athens used car salesman one day. I'm still sold on Kirby Smart in Georgia, especially over a team like Penn State. Penn State, to me, feels like the hypiest team than Texas.
Every year. Penn State is every year the hypiest team. Clemson should have got a lot more love. They should still deserve a lot more benefit of the doubt. But the good thing is, John, is that at least 2 teams in this top 10 will not finish ranked. The question is, who are they?
Oregon. Oh, I mean, finish ranked, or like they'll finish unranked?
Yes, they'll be unranked.
If I had to put it on a couple teams, I'd have to say Oregon and Miami. Like, those are the 2 teams that look like the least likely to stay ranked throughout the season in the top 10.
Interesting. I'm still debating on it. That's the one I'm going to try to figure out. I'm going to figure it out when the AP poll drop, because every year the AP poll drops, there's at least 2 teams on there that finish unranked. And so we'll see what happens on the football field.
Well, we don't have to worry about Oklahoma dropping from inside the top 10 to outside the top 25 because they didn't start inside the top 25. So it's a big prove-it year for the Oklahoma Sooners. Only one way to go, and that's up. There's only one way to go for Texas, and that's down. So that'll be fun to watch. And we'll do it all season long here on Locked On Sooners. Make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams, and you can read my work covering the Sooners at SoonersWire.com. But also follow Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media profiles and platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer
Sooner.